I realise this trend is very dead, but here we are. The background is really dark. Do you guys mind? I don't really know how to fix that. The lights are already on. I guess this is fine. You can just watch my laptop slowly rendering a video that I'm editing in the background. I have my Diet Coke, but I'm very aware that I kind of look a bit like a Diet Coke advert today. I feel like, should I be advertising? Okay, let's talk about what we were actually gonna do in this video. So there was a trend going around years ago where you use like those tier ranking apps and you rank things. And I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna be ranking book series that I have read, some of which I've finished, most of which I have not, because I'm very bad at finishing series. I will finish them, but they're not finished yet. So I have it all set up on my iPad, so we're gonna go into iPad filming mode / me in corner of the screen. I've never done this before. I hope it's okay. If it's not okay, you won't be seeing this video, so let's hope it's fine. Okay, I have never really used this app before. I downloaded it the other day and I loaded some books along the bottom which are scrolling very, very slowly for some reason. And I also added some tiers. I don't know why G has appeared. Can we get rid of that? There we go. So I added some tiers and sort of labelled them pretty self-explanatory. We've got God tier, great, good, average, meh, bad, and please no. I'm going to try and be very critical here because I am very prone to being too positive. All of the books that I read I tend to rank higher than I actually think they are, and then I look back and I'm like, that definitely wasn't a 5-star, and I bring it down. I very, very rarely give below a 3-star. I guess I like reading too much to give books bad reviews. I just like books in general. But I'm going to try and be quite harsh here. And speaking of trying to be quite harsh, we're going to start with a series that I did not like. So this is Every Day by David Levithan, which is this one here, which you can't see the whole of, but trust me, that's what it is. So this was a book series about a person who wakes up in a new body every day. Fantastic concept, was not executed well. The first book, so it's a duology, and the first book ended really well. Like, I was really intrigued to see what would happen and very excited to read the next book, and then it turned out that the next book was just a retelling of the first book from the love interest's point of view. So that was very disappointing. I'm not sure I'm gonna say it's as bad as Please No, but it's definitely going in the bad. Can we put it in the... oh no. Where did it go? Oh no. Some technical difficulties, bear with. Okay, we worked it out. It is now in bad. I hope you enjoyed that escapade into working out how to use this app. So the next thing we have is we're going to do the Robin Wilde series by Louise Pentland. I've been watching Louise for years. I think she's lovely. She has such wholesome, nice, friendly vlogs that are just nice. They're just wholesome and nice. I've never read any of her other books. I know she did like a sprinkle of glitter book in her diary and thing, and then she came out with Wild Like Me, which is the first book in the Robin Wilde series, which follows this girl who, this woman who is very similar to Louise. I think a lot of the character traits are Louise's traits, but that's fine. Write about what you know. I'm gonna say that this is it was well written. But I don't think it was for me. It was about like a single mum, and I don't know, there wasn't really any massively original concepts. I did like some of the themes that it tackled, the first one and the second one. I believe the third one's out, but I haven't read it yet. So this is, it could be good, but I'm just going to put it into average. There we go. I think that's a solid average. Not bad, but certainly not the best series I've ever read. So the next thing we have is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, or the Percy Jackson series. I think this is going straight into God tier. There we go, I'm putting it straight into God tier, and I'm putting it into God tier for a couple of reasons. One, it's about gods. Therefore it should go in God tier. Secondly, no matter how much I enjoy this is such a pivotal series for so many people. So I'm really enjoying the series. I'm currently rereading it, or basically reading it for the first time, and I've read the first two, but I have quite a few of them, so I'm planning on like reading quite a few this year. But the reason this is going on is not because I'm really enjoying it. I am really enjoying it, but because of how important it is to so many people. As someone who is an archaeology student, the amount of people who say that they were influenced by this series to study archaeology or classics is incredible. So yeah, this is going into, regardless of how much I liked it, this is going straight into God tier. So the next book we have is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. The second book just came out. I have not read it yet. This book was very, very, very good. I'm even tempted to put this straight into God tier. I think this is like straight up gonna be like one of the best sci-fis that comes out for a while. I think the best like YA sci-fi that's come out since then was probably Ready Player One. I think this is not only do I think this is a really good series, but I think this is going to stand the test of time. I'm really hoping that it expands sort of beyond like BookTube and YouTube, because that kind of is all I've seen talking about it, but it was very, very, very good. I'm tempted to also put it in God tier, but I did say that I want to be a little bit harsh. I'm going to put it in great. I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed Percy Jackson, but it hasn't had that influence on people's lives that Percy Jackson has yet. So it's going in great. So the next book we are going to be talking about is Cinder. The Lunar Chronicles series. I've just finished Winter. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't think it's quite great. I did think it was very good. I did think there was some kind of boring parts, and I really enjoyed the books when I was reading them. But when I finished them, I never got that really intense urge to be like, I need to read the next one now. I thought Winter was really, really good. I really enjoyed how it drew everything together. I think it was a perfect example of how you should end a series. Like, it was really long, it was like 800 pages long, but it really did like bring everything together. It mentioned everything that I wanted it to mention. It was very satisfying. Very much think that that's how you should end a series, but I don't think it's great, so I think I'm going to put it in good. So the next series we're going to be talking about is the Rune and Rising series, so the first trilogy in the Grishaverse. I finished the third one a couple of months ago. I have the first book in the Six of Crows duology, so I think it's a duology anyway, so I plan on reading that soon. But yeah, I really enjoyed this series, but I did think it got worse as it went on. I thought the first book was really, really good, and I thought the ending to the third book was really, really good. I really enjoyed that ending. But I think the second book definitely had middle book syndrome and not much happened. I think some of the characters were, we were introduced to them very quickly, and we were kind of expected to like them very quickly, and it took a lot longer into the book for me to start actually like liking them and having like, you know, like connecting with them and like being emotionally connected with them. And I think the third book, it took till about halfway through the third book to really get there for me. So I think, yeah, I would have preferred it to be a duology, or maybe like have something else happen in the middle book. I'm between good and average. I think if we're going to look at it from the point of view of the first book and the ending of the last book, I would say that that's good. But the rest I would say were just average, which is about half and half, isn't it? For the sake of not wanting to be too positive in this, I think I'm going to put it in average. Okay, so we've got a pretty even spread here, which I like. The next series we're going to do is the Scythe trilogy by Neil Shusterman. I've read the first two, I've yet to read the third one. I am loving this series. The first book was so good, but I was worried about the second one because the first one, I enjoyed it so much because of the premise. I was so taken with this fantastic premise that to me the plot didn't even really matter because it was such an interesting idea. So I was worried about the second one because I was worried that it would kind of have middle book syndrome and that the premise wouldn't be carrying it on anymore. Boy, was I wrong. The second book is so good. The first one has a lot happens, but it's a lot more about setting up the world and the idea, and the second book has the plot. Like, Neil Shusterman comes through with that plot. So, absolutely fantastic. Really loving this series so far. I'm going to put this in great. I think this is a great series. I haven't finished it yet. Maybe the third one will change my mind. But I genuinely think this is a great series. So, the next series we have is the Strange the Dreamer series. I've only read the first one so far. I read it quite recently. I know this is a series and I do plan on reading the rest of the series, but I'm not immediately like, I need the next one. I'm not sure what to give this one. I enjoyed it. I think it was an interesting idea. I think quite a lot of it was quite interesting, and I found it like quite a good page turner. But I will say that I worked out a lot of it. I worked out, I don't really want to give spoilers, but I worked out what was going on with Strange quite early on. Yeah, and there's a lot of open-endedness, a lot of things that we were introduced to in the first book that haven't been resolved yet, but not in a like, oh, I want to know what happens, in like an unsatisfying way. There's that whole adage about if you show a gun on stage in Act 1, it better go off at the end by the end of Act 3, and a lot of that didn't happen for me. Like, yes, there was a story that built up and then concluded, but there was little things dropped in which I assume will be addressed later on in the series, but they were completely ignored and they seemed a little bit pointless to me, so I was a little bit unsatisfied in like those areas. But I did enjoy it overall. I think I gave this book 4 stars. I'm not quite ready to put it in great, and I don't think it was a bit above average, which leaves, of course, good. Okay, so we are nearly done. The next series I'm going to be doing is the Knife of Never Letting Go series. I'm halfway through reading the second one. I already have the third one, so I'm planning on just binge reading them. Yeah, I understand that a lot of people really love this series. It's won the Carnegie Medal twice, I think. Is a much beloved series. A lot of people really enjoy it. I'm going to put it in average. I think it is just average. I find it quite difficult to read. I find the writing style quite difficult to read, and I don't want to mark it down for that because it is a very creative writing style, but it just, I don't know, it doesn't massively grip me. Like, it took a while in the first book to get into something that I really felt for, and then in the second book, again, I'm like 250 odd pages in, it's only really just got into the stuff that like I'm interested in. There's just a bit too much build up, and I think a lot of it is really relying on the premise. Like, there's a lot of reliance on the idea, and not a lot of plot going on yet. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in average. I realise it might be a controversial opinion, but this is my video. So we have the last series, which is again one that I have finished rarely. So that is the Rebel of the Sands series by Alwyn Hamilton. I don't remember much about this. It was a while since I read it, to be completely honest. And I think my brain kind of merged it with the Shadow and Bone series because I started reading them and finished them at around the same time. I remember really enjoying it when I read it, but I don't remember much about it now. I definitely would be interested in reading more by her, but it isn't a series that has stuck with me. And again, that was one of the reasons why I brought Shadow and Bone down, because I enjoyed it while I was reading it, but I don't remember that much about it, and it hasn't like stayed with me in the way that other series has. Like the first Scythe book like stuck with me. Like I thought about it for a whole year between reading the first one and the second one because it takes me forever to read series. So I think this is gonna go in average. I remember really enjoying it. I remember being really like hyped about the first one, and then maybe less so about the second and third. And enjoying it, but like not. Yeah, I think it's just gonna go in average. I definitely don't think it's meh. Because I did enjoy it. I think if I was maybe just doing the second and third book, I might put it as a meh, but I did really enjoy the first one, so I think we're gonna stick it in maybe the lower half of average. Okay, so that is all of the books that I'm going to do. Let's see if I want to change anything around. Do you know what? I think I might even move The Knife of Never Letting Go down. Are you gonna hate me for this? I just don't want to be too positive in this, and I'm looking at average, and I don't think Shadow and Bone and Rebel of the Sands are at the same level as Knife of Never Letting Go for me. I think I enjoyed them more than I enjoyed Knife of Never Letting Go, so I think I'm gonna move it down. Sorry, all the Patrick Ness fans. I do enjoy Patrick Ness. It's going into meh. Okay, there we go. I think I'm pretty much finished. You can see now why I do have like vaguely positive reviews, because I definitely have more books towards the top of this list, and nothing in Please No, which is good. These are series, so I am more likely to enjoy them, because like if I'm going to read the next one, I probably enjoyed the first one. But also like some of these I did read the second one of, like Every Day by David Levithan, and still didn't enjoy it. Or some of these I've only read the first one of, like An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, I've only read the first one in the duology. But yeah, I think this is pretty reflective of what I think about these books. Let me know down in the comments what you did. Did I deeply insult you by moving The Knife of Never Letting Go down? Do you think Percy Jackson deserves to be in God tier? Do you think Scythe and An Absolutely Remarkable Thing deserve to be that high up? What would you change? If you have any requests or questions, then leave them down in the comments. New videos every Wednesday, like, subscribe and all that jazz, and I will see you next week. Goodbye!